All right, so if we take a look at what we have last time, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control G. We have it moving around, we have an arrow. We do have a trigger box in there, but I made one modification since then. And I deleted the legacy trigger from this box. And the reason for this is because I forgot that we were using on our marble physics rigid body and physics collider, and we really shouldn't be using the legacy trigger with that. So we'll just use the new stuff. And that stuff, if it says legacy, more likely than not, it's going to be phased out in the next few versions, I would assume. So anyway, back to our level trigger object here. I'm just going to go to add component, and I'm going to type trigger again. But what I'd like to do is, actually, let's do collider or physics collider. I want to add a physics collider to this, and I'm going to click on trigger. Now, you might be wondering, well, how do I know where it's entering? Well, actually, let's leave this off. I want to show you what happens if you don't have that on. But I'm going to go to the draw collider here, or not draw collider, I'm sorry. I'm going to go to physics asset here, and I'm just going to add a box. And then I'll go to draw collider so you can see what that does, and it just allows me to edit this. So that's pretty good and big, and it's going to indicate essentially if I go anywhere in that zone. So let's go ahead and hit done here. Now, if I run this game and I go to the right, you'll notice that it stops the ball as I'm moving around, right? And we don't want that. We'd like it to sort of pass through, and maybe we'll have it delete or destroy this game object once it enters, indicating that, you know, the game is over. So let's go ahead and turn on this trigger. And now when I do that and I hit Control G, I should be able to enter that trigger area. And it looks pretty cool. Now let's do a test. Let's see, well, how do I enter that trigger? Ordinarily, I would create a script canvas just for this one object and have it play a particle or whatever. But just to kind of show you a little bit more about referencing entities, to review that, I'm just going to add the script that adjusts or edits this board right onto this script canvas move board here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit open here. So it opens my script canvas. And down here, we have a game entity here. What I'd like to do, and remember this teal color, or not teal, I'm sorry. I guess this is not really a teal, but this very light baby blue color is what we're looking for when we want to do a receiver. So I'm going to do on trigger enter. And as I type this, you'll see there's on trigger finish, exit, or enter. What I'm going to do is, as it enters the trigger here, what I'd like it to do is just do a simple print. And I'll have it print enter trigger. Now, we don't know what the object is, right? And it's definitely not self. Self would indicate that we're doing it on our move board here. What I'd like to do is, as we enter this trigger here, so I'm going to just kind of nudge this over to the side a little bit. And I want to select the level trigger here, and I'm going to right click, and I'm just going to reference that selected entity. I'm going to plug this into here. So as we enter that level trigger, it should print that to the screen. I'm actually going to need my marble too, so I'm going to reference that. And the reason for that is because I mentioned, I think I wanted to destroy the game object, or the game entity, I should say, as it enters. So let's go ahead and save this. And I'm going to maximize and minimize that for a second. And I'm going to hit Control-Shift-C down here to clear this. And let's run the game. And now when I enter the box, it should indicate that we've entered that trigger. There we go. See how it says enter trigger? Let's roll back a little bit. And we'll enter trigger again. Pretty cool. The issue with this is, now that I think about it, if I look at my physics collider for my trigger box, it actually collides with everything in the scene. So if you see here where it says trigger collides with all, I think I want it to be just that object. So we can do triggers. Let's see, it says mesh surfaces. Let's see. We could do a tag, and then we can give this object a tag. So let's say marble here. And I'm going to hit Control A and copy that so that it only collides with the marble. In case there's we decide to make a game where there's like enemy marbles. And I'm going to just save this. And then I'm going to select my marble. And on this, I'm going to add a tag component. And let's create a new thing here and just type in marble. And let's save this. Let's hit Control G and let's see if that works. There we go. Yeah, it still works. So if it collides with our marble, so pretty much right now it only detects our marble, and so it has a tag of marble, and we want to definitely the entire object, and that looks cool. You know, we can. This is good so far. So let's go ahead and jump back to our script. And what I'd like to do is do a destroy entity. So destroy game entity. And as mentioned before, we could go and click this and then go back into our scene and do the marble and select the marble. But now we have this reference that we can use multiple times. Say we wanted to change colors. So what we're looking for is the script order, right? So as the data gets sent between these, we wanted to print enter trigger, and then we wanted to destroy our marble object. And again, as we get into particles, maybe we'll do that a little bit, maybe in the next video, we'll see. We'll maybe play a particle, then destroy game object, or we'll do a delay. So there's a lot of cool stuff we could do with this. So let's go ahead and hit Control G. And actually, let me clear this. And let's hit Control G. And as I move around, we entered the trigger, and it destroyed our game object. All right, I think that's good for this video. And what we'll do is maybe look at particles or making a new level, a win-lose screen that's triggered as you enter that box.